ProGuides is teaching us how to predict the future? Huh? What is going on, Summoners, and welcome back to another ProGuides video. My name is Dan, and I'll be the host for today. In this video, we'll be going over tips on how to climb in each rank of the ladder we all love, solo queue. We've broken down a lot of concepts and applied them to each rank we best believe they can be used to climb. So stay tuned and make sure to watch this video to the end so you can start smashing your way through ranked. For our question of the day, what is the first champion you ever played, and what's the first champion you mained? For me personally, the first character I ever played was Riven because I saw my friend playing it in bots. However, the first champion I mained was Annie all the way up until Platinum. Let me know your answer in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing your answers. By the way, I want you guys to check out ProGuides.com. There we have courses from your favorite pro players like Doublelift and even live classes from instructors like Zyrene, Mike Young, and even Hobelter. With that all being said, let's jump straight into the video. One thing we can all agree on is that League of Legends is a very intricate game, whether you want to talk about champions, items, or simply just trying to understand how the game works. Many things we will talk about today are common things you may already be doing for yourself or have a general understanding of. The importance of today's video will be telling you what these things are and providing a solution on how to improve them. As they say, it's one thing to have the knowledge, but it's another to be able to use it and apply it to yourself. Instead of starting this video explaining what Iron players should focus on to climb, we're going to shift gears and discuss the fundamentals of League of Legends that every single player should actively continue to improve, whether they are a complete beginner or a LCS pro player. As stated before, if you've watched any of our videos on improvement, a lot of these things have been brought up, but we really need to highlight them because they will serve as your cornerstone to success in League. Let's start off with what our analysts believe is the most important skill to master in League, which is mechanics. Breaking down mechanics into the simplest form, it's how you move your character, ability usage, and timing. Once you put all these together, it creates maximum output for any given situation to come out on top. The reason why mechanics is so important is due to the fact that you can learn anything else once you have this down. Take LCS and Academy for example. Professional teams do not look for players who know what to do, but rather players that can execute regardless of the situation in the game. Once they find those players, they will only then teach them things from rotations, team play, and synergy. The real question now is, how do I improve on my mechanics? There isn't completely one answer for this, but rather a series of things you can do to improve it. Starting off with the easiest one, simply playing the game. That's it. The more League of Legends you play, the more experience and understanding you will gain on how to pilot each character. We brought up this term earlier in the video, but it's important to know what it means. Maximum output is how much you can do in something as small as a quick trade to a big team fight or macro play. In the mechanical sense, it's the most damage you can do. This comes down to the actual ability usage while weaving auto attacks where you can while moving to keep up or retreat from the enemy. Your ultimate goal here is to ingrain the champion's ability usage into your hands and brain so the muscle memory and fluidity is there when you need to quickly pull out the mechanics. In our writer's case, Saskia is feet too because he plays Yumi with his feet. Next up, we got map awareness. Yes, the good old look at your minimap every 5 seconds or blame the support for not warding. If you play League of Legends, you've definitely heard of all these things over time. You may have heard many explanations about what this concept is, but let's take our shot at it. Map awareness is directly in the name, being aware of what's going on the map. Well, that was lame, but on a serious note, it's knowing what's going on the rift so that you can make the best decision possible. This could come from directly having vision and physically looking at the map to see enemies, or being berated by a ton of MIA pings when you are overextended. But a lesser known concept we want to talk about is drawing conclusions with information you know. Let's create an example. You are a top laner, you notice that both lanes leashed because they came out at the same time. You can draw the possibility that the enemy jungler will end topside and gank top or mid so you play around it. So while you don't have information on exactly where the enemy jungler is, you have a really good idea of where they will be. Even after they reset and go bot side, you can easily assume they will make a play mid or bot and ping your teammates to play around it. This is the true map awareness we're talking about, where you know what's going on without having direct vision. With these two big points being said, make sure to keep these in mind while learning about the other tips we present. If you're an Iron, then you're likely just starting out and played a couple ranked games to dip your foot into the water. We're going to be honest here and say you just need more time to play to continue slowly learning how the game works. I'll add my personal take here. When I first started playing League of Legends, it took me a couple months to reach level 30 before I could even start my first ranked game. I recently leveled up an account and noticed that I reached level 30 a lot faster, so I think it has a little bit to do with having more game time before entering solo queue. So don't feel down if you're currently new to the game and placed in Iron. Just continue playing the game and you will slowly find yourself climbing out. However, it doesn't hurt to watch ahead on this video and start to think about the other concepts we will introduce to you. If you managed to climb out of Iron into Bronze, you probably improved and gave yourself a pat on the back. Once you reach this stage, you will want to learn in detail how exactly to farm and trade during the laning phase. In order to work on this, load up into a practice tool game mode and place a beginner or intermediate bot on the enemy team. Pick your champion of choice and purchase your normal starting item and head bot lane. From here, purely last hit the minions and trade with the bot. Do not kill the bot under any circumstances. Just continue farming and the minion wave will naturally push and bounce back towards you so that you will have to learn how to farm with a big minion wave and your tower. Repeat this until 10 minutes and make a mental note on your CS and repeat the next day. Don't be afraid to do this once daily as a warm-up before a day of grinding ranked. Don't worry, junglers, we didn't forget about you. Load up into a practice tool game and start your normal jungle item and look to solo your first camp and go from there. Path how you normally would and focus on kiting camps to minimize damage while not missing any auto attack timers to maximize output. Keep a mental or physical note of your HP and time when you complete your normal clear and compare the progress you make over time. It appears you have reached silver and looking to take on the climb straight into gold. You understand a bit more on how to farm and trade, so you're looking to take it to the next level. This is where you're going to want to start to study what champions do so you can know how to deal with them. Either in your free time or in between queues, start searching up champions and reading through their abilities so you have a more comprehensive understanding, and even go into a practice tool with those characters to test it for yourself. You will be surprised how much more of a game plan you can create if you know exactly what each character does so you can play around it and win your lane and game more cleanly. Ask yourself this. Do you know what Sivir's passive does? I'll be honest, I had to Google it and realized why she would always escape my grasp in teamfights. Luckily, this section of the guide does not take skill, but rather time and dedication to learning and building up an understanding of what every character does. Lastly, don't forget to continue applying the fundamentals we talked about before. Getting a challenger to your coach on ProGuides can help you solidify these concepts and climb easily. Gold Elo. This is the stage where you feel more confident in your last hitting and have a base understanding of what champions do. This is where you're going to want to select 2 to 3 champions to main for your role and start specializing. You've had your fun messing around, so it's time to get to work. Lock in your characters and start researching all the meta runes and builds so that you don't end up building AD Heimerdinger. While you're at it, take this time to learn what every item in League of Legends does so you can have more flexibility when it comes to itemization in any given game. Some games you might want to purchase Quicksilver Sash because they have a lot of CC, or maybe Morellonomicon isn't cutting it on Annie, so you rather build Liandry's and Rylai's to slow and shred those pesky tanks. Enough about builds, you want to learn how to carry your games fast and now. If it was ever a time, it's in Gold Elo where you want to fully focus on your mechanics. We may have created a whole section on it, but this is where you can really separate yourself from your opponents. Since you've also locked in a couple champions to main, make sure to practice your combos and abilities in practice tool until you don't even have to think to do it. If you can be spending your efforts elsewhere, focused on roaming or CSing instead of how to play your champion, you will outskill your opponent and fly by gold with a breeze. If you guys aren't already in it, make sure to join our Discord community in the link below if you want to join a great community to talk about your favorite item builds and make new friends along the way. Once you reach Platinum, you have a deep understanding of your main champions and want to branch out to different avenues for improvement. This is where you want to introduce a new concept called Zone of Influence. What is this big word and what does it mean? Zone of Influence is the area which any given character can impact with abilities. Let's create an example to show you. If an enemy Blitzcrank is standing in a bot lane bush and you cannot see him, you need to assume he's in the closest part of the brush to you and draw an imaginary hook line if he were to shoot it. Assuming you know Blitzcrank's hook range to heart, you now want to play anywhere outside of it or behind minions so you cannot get hit. That's challenge number 1. Once you understand this concept, you need to do it constantly in a game and draw out exactly what all 5 enemy champions can do at any given time relative to their position. Once you can draw everything out, you can always play around it and be prepared to outplay an enemy champion if they try to do anything. Here are a couple of bullet form pointers to help you on your journey of applying Zone of Influence. Constantly draw enemy max range ability uses are relative to their current position at every stage of the game. Bonus points if you include flash. During laning phase, try to walk slightly into enemies' max range to see if you can bait out their cooldowns and mana. Just make sure to still last hit and trade properly. If you're completely inside someone's zone of influence, you'll have no choice but to try to juke since you cannot escape it by simply outranging it. Are we in ELO heaven yet? Nope. You finally made it to Diamond and want to reach the rank where you can play against pro players and streamers. Once you are here, a new concept we want to teach has a weird name, but stick with it. I call it playing in the future. You've probably started applying this, but it basically means to anticipate what the enemy is about to do in the near future, whether it's 2 to 3 seconds or even 3 minutes ahead. Let's create an example. Let's say you're playing ADC and the enemy Malphite walks up. You now create a scenario 1 to 2 seconds in advance, preparing yourself for his ultimate so you can flash. Now you see him pull the trigger and you flash and kite out successfully. So instead of having to depend on your reaction time, you already brace your body, brain, and hands to make the play happen because you were prepared. Again, this concept can be applied to the littlest things of attacking an enemy when they are last hitting, to something big like setting yourself up to get ganked as Renekton at level 3 to turn and get a double kill. We hope this video provided points that you have never heard before so you guys can start branching out and practicing new things. Just remember that there's no magic potion or tip that will significantly improve your gameplay. It will take time and effort to reach the goals you have in your ranked climb. That concludes our latest video on how to climb from each elo. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to join our Discord below where we do tons of coaching giveaways and community events. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you all so much for watching, and good luck out on the Rift.